What's up? This is Janet Saki here, and this is another little snippet of, I don't even know, American Confectionals. But what I was thinking outside is that I think that this should be called Land of the Free Bullshit. And I think I'm going to go with that. So today's episode, brief episode, is going to be about, age, gender and sexuality, and identity. So let's start with the first one because you can obviously see this one. Okay, you see me today? I have my hair out, my curls. I got this really cool looking necklace at my job today, and I got my wooden earrings. Okay, so you see me. And I work at the Salvation Army, by the way. And I'm just, running clothes, and this guy comes up to me and he's like, I love your hair. You're so Afrocentric. Like, that's beautiful. And I'm like, I love that people know that I'm Afrocentric by the way that I carry myself and by my natural hair. But for me, it's that label of Afrocentricity, which has negative connotations because of the white supremacy that we live in right now. But for me, I feel like, why can't I just be like, why do you have to pick at my natural hair by always like, putting it up in conversation? And I feel like that's a big reason why women of color, or like, it doesn't matter, Latina or African American, Black, Haitian, it doesn't matter. I feel like that's why a lot of women of color stray away from their natural hair and would rather just blend in by having it be a straight back hairstyle, by either relaxing it, all of those types of mediums that kind of negates from that afro and that, natural curl or that naps. I feel like a big reason for me, that negation, apart from the white supremacy that we live in, is that title, unfortunately, because I feel like, yeah, like I love my natural hair. I love it. It's beautiful, I think it's beautiful, but why do you have to pick at it every time I go outside? Why does someone have to say, Black power? Or I feel like all of those are stereotypes. Why can't I just be, a Black woman who happens to have natural hair? I don't see why it always has to be about that the fact that I'm Black automatically means that I'm Afrocentric, automatically means that I'm an NAACP member, automatically means that I'm a Black Panther. No, I just like that I have natural hair and I'm very proud to be Black. That's it. Why does it have to be anything else? And that's why I think it's bullshit that we live supposedly in the land of the free, where there should be no, like, separations based off, race, gender, age, all of that. And yet, look at that. That's a separation based off of race because my phenotype is Black, and because I happen to have my hair natural, I gotta be Afrocentric. Well, that's part one of my rants. Two, I was walking home from Salvation Army and I saw this woman who had a really nice sleek blazer. She had her blonde hair was straightened to the T. She also had, I don't know if you guys know, but there are these pants out. They're called riding pants, and they kind of have patches in the insides and the outside. So I call them riding pants. So she was looking really nice. But if you were to see her from the back, she would look like, a 23, 24-year-old. But looking at her visually, she looks like she's probably 45 and aging, And for me, when she was walking towards me, I sensed that she was a bit uncomfortable. She was fidgeting on her blazer, trying to, I guess, to cover her shirt. And to me, she looked like a very fashionable elder woman, a very mature woman. But I guess because society, for some reason, when society sees an older woman, they automatically want her to be in matron pants and really ugly sneakers. Basically when you reach a certain age, it's like there's nothing left for you. Just everything's going downhill. Your titties are sagging. Just just be. Don't try to live above your age. Don't try to shone attention on you. Just be, just live. You only got 50 more years of your life. You know, it's over for you. And I feel like that's another, you know, I think there's something wrong with this society because it always puts a brand on everything. I was talking to my friend Jack about this, and for me, that's like the foundation of this society, this consumerization, that in order to be in one of these categories, we automatically have to buy this. Like, for instance, I don't adhere to any type of identity that I have. That's why it's very hard to read me. One day I may be wearing this with my Afrocentricity. The next day I may be wearing like a freaking New York cap, news hat, looking androgynous. Next day I may wear a form-fitted shirt with boots and kind of rockery because I'm a rocker too. Like, for me, I feel like I live above brands and I live above consumerization because I am the person who dictates what I want to be any day. But in her case, she is this elder woman who's 45, stylish as hell, and because the society thinks that she's dressing young, she feels uncomfortable. And I think that's really wrong, you know, because she obviously loves fashion, but she has to dial it down because she's come of age. Second, my third rant is going to be about gender and sexuality. Okay, so on PBS, they have this documentary called, I think it's basically reading your body and how women and men exude this type of fragrance, or they walk a certain way to attract mates. So I was thinking about that today. And I saw this, you know, this gay man, and, you know, how some gay men switch and some gay men don't, you know, some straight men switch. It doesn't matter. What I'm trying to get at is that I feel like there's a lot of pressures that are put on men and women, and in this case, men, to walk a certain way. Because this gay man, it was obvious that he was switching, but it was very evident to me that he was trying to quell his switch. Because on one side, you know, he was switching, and on the other side, it was very kind of closed tight to him. And I could definitely sense that he was trying to quell his strut, his walk, or in my eyes, himself, to fit this identity and brand of gender of the male. You know, because certain males have to walk very straightforward, take up a lot of space to kind of show their, you know, their authority. And in this case, for certain men, they don't walk like that. And for me, it's kind of a double-sworded argument, because sometimes I think gay men adhere to the gender norms of walking so that they don't get targeted. But then also one would have to argue that they're not being themselves in this land of the free by having to adhere to gender roles by walking. So, you know, do you argue safety or individuality? And some people would pick safety, you know? A lot of people would pick safety, because you can also argue that about women who, when women are raped, they usually ask, instead of "Are you okay?" "What were you wearing?" And one would have to ask, should I wear long skirts for my safety, or should I wear short skirts for my identity? And it shouldn't be either. It should be, I want to wear a short skirt, and I don't want to live in a world that I have to be fearful that that man is going to take advantage of his strength, physical strength. Not all men, but certain men. And it's going to come down on me. And let me rephrase, women also do rape people too. I'm not trying to say that they don't, but I'm saying in this case, for this hypothetical woman, why should she have to adhere to societal constraints of wearing a short skirt, meaning she wants to get raped, meaning that a man, when she says no, means yes, that says no. For me, it should always be about who you are and being safe enough in your society to be who you are without any like stigma or negative connotations. Because I feel like if we all as one just said, fuck it. This is all bullshit. I'm going to be myself today. I really feel like these constraints that we all have, depending on identity, depending on gender, depending on race, sexuality, it's all going to go away. Because if we feed into it by buying these things, like I feel like people, we don't understand how much strength we have. If we were to all come together and say no to something, change will happen. That's it. So here I argued this case about how we should all just live freely in who we are rather than, just kind of melt into this melting pot of Americanism, and just be yourself, but be yourself conscious of others. That's all I'm going to argue. So I argued through the elder lady, me, and this, gay man. So I hope you liked my first installment of America, Land of the Free, bullshit. Good night.